back to another LinuxGameCast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. This week, HTC, of all people, accidentally confirmed Half-Life 3. Seriously, they did. Unity 5 launches for the low price of free, if you don't mind a crippled version designed to upsell you, and Frozen Byte reveals a totally new game. I'm just kidding. They're making another Shrine.
Torchlight 2 gets Linux support, and Valve is promising more titles are on their way. The first wave of Steam boxes are officially announced. Woo!
Yeah.
And AMD's Mantle gets gutted, and Kronos is getting the crust.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard, but we're taking the penguin to Mordor. Worms Clan Wars get their tux on. Now you can show those Windows and Mac users who's boss. And Unreal for free. Until you make 3,000 wet stinkies from your game, then they'll take 5% off the top.
I'm Vince Stone here at LGC Actual, joined by Massa Huang, all the way in Canada. And from Space Portugal,
Hello.
Mr. Mateus. And together with a chat room dynamic, live, we form a bit of a cocaine Voltron. Before we get started, we'd like to see what's going in each other's life organs this week. P-Man, what's up?
Not a whole lot, actually. It was basically work and playing a lot of Hand of Fate at the start of the week. Then the SteamOS sale came around. Stick around, we'll be talking about that. That came around, and it's been Torchlight 2 ever since.
Oh god, Torchlight 2, that's just a fucking time vampire. That's... I just can't stop playing this game. Also, if you shave with like little, like the regular razors, get them from Dorco, because like the $4 a pack ones kick the crap out of the $20 a pack Gillette ones, so... Pro tip.
Over here, I didn't have anything. Well, I did have one very interesting thing happen. I run the CyanogenMon Nightlies on the Nexus 10 just because YOLO swag Dorito. And this latest one had a small bug that I posted on the G+. It got to about 6 ons in, and then I was like, wow, I'm at 20%? That never happens. Then I blinked and was like, power off.
I heard you had some issues with the 313 kernel.
Yeah, that happened. Upgraded the kernel on the Ubuntu 1404 LTS render boxen. It's never complained because I run separate X screens, and I know I have some of them set to the exact absolute positioning, and it always bitches about that, but it always works, and it's always worked for years. Started that up. Nope. X wouldn't start. Your first thought's not, maybe there's something wrong in the Xorg file. No, it's try every fucking thing else. Then get around to that. So, you know, half a day later, I went, fine, I'll just redo the Xorg and regenerate that, and it worked. End of story. But, the horse has a very interesting story this week.
You know, the horse accidentally had some leakage that's trying to patch up, and maybe HTC was involved. It's our Steam
Lex
update! So, HTC leakage from...
Yeah, the HTC apologizes for causing Half-Life confusion. Oh, no one saw this coming, not including me, but, yeah, this happened because, what's her name? Regarding the BBC interview with David Lee yesterday, help me out here, gentlemen, what is her name?
I like watching you struggle through this.
Well, eat a bag of dicks.
It's great because the name is like literally
Cher Wong.
Way to fucking ruin it.
She says, regarding my BBC interview with David Lee yesterday, I would like to apologize for any confusion caused when I referred to individual game titles. She says, now if you run that through the de-bullshitotron 9000 we have over here, then she basically said, yeah, I'll let Half-Life 3 slip. These fuckers are invested in our hardware. Deal with it. Then it goes to Black and White and does the Thug Life thing and pulls out on it right there. Hashtag that business. Skirt.
Skirt.
What do you think, P-Man?
Well, everyone knows that Valve started working in HL3 at some point in time. HTC, they're making a hell of a lot of money. perhaps even more than Valve. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, we talked about this one video game that they're developing, and everyone seems to have all their pennies up in a twist. But honestly, I won't believe it till I see it.
To me, it just because I watched that interview, it looks like she was just going, Oh wait, no, I should have said that. So I don't know. It could have been a slip of the tongue. It could have been she's privy to other stuff. I don't know. It's best not to speculate on these sorts of things.
I'll believe Half-Life 3 when I see it. At this point, that's the best I can do.
Okay, well, something we know that is confirmed.
Yes. Oh my god.
Steam
So
boxes.
we've been waiting for these, and oh god, do they suck? Oh man,
come on, man! Just 4.9.
You too can pay $5,000 for a gaming PC that costs like $1.2 thousand.
There's a couple of them in here too. There's two 5,000 wet stinky Steam boxes.
There are a couple floating around that $500-$600 barrier, but they suck. They all have like onboard mobile cards or Radeon, and good luck working that under Linux. That's gonna cause you a flawless gaming experience. We know that for a fact. No, this is there, and a lot of them are just really overpriced. I mean, Sony, Microsoft, they manufacture, Nintendo, they manufacture the consoles. They can sell them at a loss and recoup the costs due to game licenses and whatnot. But for Valve, they're going through third-party hardware manufacturers. They do not have that luxury. And so we got to eat that full price. And I don't know how they're expecting these to sell as like a console competitor, especially when console price drops are coming around the corner in a year or two. Again, and there are current gen consoles on the market right now. People have already bought and invested in them.
I don't know. The one thing I'm definitely concerned about, beyond all things, do they come with trading cards?
Could you imagine? they actually start putting out physical trading cards that you could trade for actual gems.
But yeah, the Steam machines, barring perhaps the Alienware Alpha.
You just built a Steam box. How many?
Yeah, I did. It cost me around $440. Well, it was actually euros, but since price parts translate dollar equal euro, it's basically the same thing. So yeah, and it has a 750 Ti, which is better than the 860M that comes with the Alienware Alpha. And I had an SSD kicking around, so that brought the price down a little bit. But you can actually build a better machine for a hell of a lot cheaper than most of these. Okay, granted, the Alienware Alpha is actually one of the best priced ones, but if you want to talk best price, it's the Steam Link. That's $50.
The Stream Box is brilliant.
Yeah,
and I saw that announced, and it's just that was a stroke of genius.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like you were saying, that's in Chromecast territory, right?
Yep.
All right.
And yeah.
Boom.
Let's talk about engines going free. Let's start with Source. Yeah, this comes from Polygon. Really? We're covering stories from Polygon? Oh, come on. All right. So Valve just
would you rather the Gaming on Linux article?
No, but
confirmed
again, not Polygon. Just not Polygon, please. But yeah, Source 2 is free. It's basically just, you want to build your game, you want to get it on Steam, use Source 2. It's free.
Well, they did say that there's one requirement, which I'm sure is going to piss a lot of people off. If you use the Source engine from Steam to make your Source game, you have to release it on Steam.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That is literally it.
Because like Steam is their moneymaker. They don't really get money from much else.
I was being facetious.
Fuck you, Ben. I know. It's called me not putting up with it.
Yeah, but everything's going free. This is just the first. Stick around for the news. We'll get into a few other engines that are going free with, minor caveats here and there. In the case of Source 2, it's just you have to release it on Steam. That's it.
Right.
Oh, wait! There's more!
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Hit your Billy Mays key.
Oh yeah, no. If you've been following any of us on the social medias, then you know about the Steamhouse sale. All of these wonderful games: Torchlight 2, Saints Row 4, Magicka 2, Payday 2, and Arkham Knight. Dear Lord!
And Grid Auto Sport.
Oh man, my jeans are so full of cream right now. A bunch of these are already on Linux right now. You got Total War, you got Binding of Isaac, Civ 5, Transistor, all that good stuff. But this is just a taste of some of the cool games that are coming to Linux in the next couple months. Batman's coming in like June, I think.
Yeah, I did. Well, that was one of the definite things. When I first saw this, I swear if I had any available moisture in my body, I would have cried. It's like, we're here. That's great. Fortunately, I was just derping around town with my tablet, and I was like, Batman. No, didn't they? So, close that. Hopped in Turbocharger, flipped back the house. I'm playing some Batman tonight because that's on there and it has a logo and it's like it's available for pre-purchase. Fuck you, right in the ear.
Now, for me, it was Torchlight 2. I see Torchlight. I look down at the icons. Oh, there's a SteamOS icon under there. It's like $4. Buy it. It works. Holy shit, it works.
Yeah, and we'll get into that later because we're going to throw some chairs at that.
Oh, yeah.
Ben, you had some concerns about native ports, didn't you?
That's one thing I definitely want everyone to hold off on. I am completely guilty of Grid Auto Sports half off. I'm taking the Pepsi challenge on that, hoping it's not some Eon busted Moontech, which I'm pretty sure it's not going to be since we're going to be pushing out this new Vulcan business that we'll talk about in the news.
Yep.
But everything else I'm holding off on. I don't do pre-orders. Even the Batman, I was like, I'm just going to pay full price for it when it comes out. I'll deal with that when I have to. But on that note, if they had launched everything and it was available, then I would have really burned a hole in one of my credit card organs.
Well, so I'm pretty sure Magicka 2 is going to be FNA because Magicka 1 was XNA. XNA is deprecated. They want to move to the new sauce that Flibbit's working on with like full 100% controller support. And Saints Row 4 is a Deep Silver title, and the last 2 games they put out on the Linux were native ports. Ben, you were concerned about the updates regarding these Deep Silver ports, but they don't really keep stuff up to date on Windows either. So
no, they don't. But here's another thing for you. I mean, let's just move along. But one thing that a lot of people have been reporting on, they said, well, we got to play with the Steam VR headset. And everyone talks, we got to play this cooking game. You didn't hear anything about it. Well, you know what? Here it is. This is the actual thing that they got to play.
Yes. So we talked earlier about Valve teaming up with HTC to produce produce an VR headset.
HR headset.
Human resources.
Well, if you're gonna play Job Simulator, it might as well be an HR headset. Am I right? No, so yeah, it's an Oculus game for cooking, and now that I see Valve's release for this, I'm curious now about the Grifta controller from last week because now they have their full-blown VR tech. That would be interesting.
Yeah, but we do want to mention that Alchemy Labs made that neat little cooking demo, which one of the reviews it was interesting. I had fun. And the novelty of microwaving a wine bottle never gets old. So,
well, the other thing that piqued my interest was Oculus, or as my roommate calls it, Vertigo Simulator 2015.
I don't know. Something I did say on the social media is I hate to say this. I'll just be glad when everybody gets their VR organs out in the market, so everyone can buy one and spend an on with it and realize we don't like wearing shit on our heads. Then we can move over to something like augmented reality, AR, which might stand a chance. VR, I think, is a non-starter. But P-Man...
yeah. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
The hobbits
to Isengard?
To Isengard. They're taking the hobbits... No.
Come on,
this is Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor. Let me tell you about last week's Wednesday for me. So I get home. I start up the PC, open up Thunderbird just to see if anything from work had showed up, and I get like, oh, there's an email from Brad. Warner Brothers would like to present Shadow of Mordor, now confirmed for Linux.
And you did the same thing I did.
Oh yeah, we all screeched over to that to the marketing portal. It's like, did they give us the game? No.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's genuinely what
It's
it
like-
was. I saw that, and I headed over to our press area, and I logged in. And just,
Yeah, the key is not available yet, so
but
we
yeah,
will be
Middle-earth.
throwing chairs at this. There is a spring, it's kind of vague. There is a spring release date for Linux. There are no other icons showing up on the Steam store right now, but it is an action RPG type game with the combat is very similar to the Batman games, or if you don't know what the Batman combat is like, is
No.
imagine Hand of Fate. Hand of Fate, yeah.
Kick its ass.
And we do know our friends at Feral are porting this.
That's something
And
I
their
was
last
about to
couple games
mention. I
worked.
mean,
Yep.
it is currently 40% off. It's native. Trust us on this. It works on Linux.
It's Feral, yeah.
I mean, if you want to pick it up right now, do it. I will
20,
not,
30
I will
bucks,
not say a single disparaging remark about your mother if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's Feral. You can trust those guys. XCOM, even for an Unreal Engine 3 game, it actually worked stupidly well, even on the calculator. So
Total War was all right. It was a shame it was a shit game, but
yeah, it was not a very good game, but the port was nice.
Yeah.
But hey,
You got
who
the
here's got parasites?
worms.
I got worms coming
Yeah.
out of my ass. Should I go see a
Squirt,
doctor?
Squirt.
It's Worms Clan Wars, now available on Linux.
Mhm.
And it's Mike from Team 17 that brings on the news. The game is currently 75% off. I think it will be until Monday, so pick it up if you like Worms. It is basically just every single Worms game that ever came out with even more stuff. And now it's got a bigger focus on the multiplayer and the...
Buddy, that's every single Worms game ever is the
Yeah.
previous game with more shit.
Yeah, it's basically just more stuff that you want to play in Worms. And it's got Steam Workshop integration. And one teeny tiny interesting thing that I learned about this game while doing the research earlier today was that it is fully rendered in 3D, but you only get to play as the usual 2D Worms. I guess they learned a lesson when they released Worms 3D.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you tried out Worms Armageddon on Linux, you know that these guys are capable of putting out a decent port. So,
Oh,
I mean,
and
I
that
played the
reminds
shit out of
me.
Worms when I was a kid.
You can actually do cross-platform multiplayer now. So, unlike the
Right.
previous
Woohoo!
Worms for Linux, you can actually play between Mac, Windows, and Linux. Everyone gets to play together, so that's awesome.
Well, let's talk about trouble. White Knight. Man, I saw this title and it was not what I was expecting at all, unfortunately.
That's racist.
It's totally racist. The Dark Will, that's racist right there. All explore the macabre past of an old mansion in the 30s, solve puzzles, blah, blah, blah. It clocks in at that $14.99, so it better be worth something. Been looking around at this. It seems if you want to go fuck you, YOLO swag playthrough, it's about 6 ons, and about 9 if you are like P-Man and have to collect every single fucking thing. But it's very noir. We'll take a look at the video.
Noir.
Noir.
The aesthetic
Noir.
looks
It's French,
cool,
man. It's French.
actually. Film noir. We got a bunch of French people in chat room. They should French frat people. Oh, swag.
But you're going to need the
Yes,
Ubuntu 1204, 2 gigs, GTS 250, 2 gigajoules. All right. So this thing basically runs on a calculator.
Yeah.
You said the Sterling played it, didn't he? Didn't think a lot
Yeah,
about
I saw it come up on Steam, and about 5 minutes later, there was a video popping up on my YouTube feed that Jim Sterling is playing White Knight. Oh, okay. He actually had some good things to say about it, but I'll have to be honest. I was watching his squirty play thing that he does, and seeing the character wobble around like that, it was making me very, very frustrated. It's like the character was being controlled by a drunken puppeteer. Instead of using string, it was using elastic band, so it was just like, oh.
So how we control you?
Basically,
Basically.
although Yeah, fiber optics is slightly better than
what I
elastic
got out of
bands.
it. I mean, you light a match and you run around trying to solve shite before the match makes with the burning, which I think you could solve this problem if you just put a giant lowercase t out in the front lawn, lit it up, and use it for ambient light. Problem solved.
You could totally fix it. You could totally solve the case with a match and a canister of gasoline.
Okay, what's this slideshow business you got in here?
This is ASA or ASA Remastered Edition. It's
so
well,
Cisco finally put out a game,
and I started reading the description. It's like Remastered Edition is a first-person slideshow adventure game in 2015. Really? Okay. So I had to look at the trailer. I had to look at the screenshots, and I'm like, first 2 screenshots. This looks a lot like Portal. Yeah, then you skip ahead to the 5th screenshot, and oh, this looks a lot like Myst. What the hell?
Well, I mean, the game was popular enough back in the day, so I guess it's good. Someone's keeping the formula alive.
Well, you gotta have this. Then again, I mean, this was built when Linux x86-64 was an operating system.
Yes. Again, you just need the kernel.
Check out the additional notes on Brad.
Additional notes, mouse.
This clocks at $14.99.
Back in the day. Back in the day, slideshow games were a thing because of the technical limitations of the hardware. Nowadays, that's not the case anymore. Even the guys from Cyan Worlds,
Pedro. Nostalgia is an industry.
The ones who made Myst themselves said that we wanted to make an actual free-flowing game, but we couldn't because, the Amiga or the NES
that
or
was
whatever.
written in Apple HyperCard. HyperCard is what that was done with.
Yes. But again, I must repeat, nostalgia is an industry. People will buy
it is. Kickstarter is built on nostalgia, but still, the guys from Myst remade Myst as the real Myst remastered edition or whatever they called it, and it was a free-flowing game. It used the newer engines for the new Mysts. So
moving on.
Red Rocket.
Oh look. It's another of Flibbit's ports. In less than a week.
Red Rocket, Rex Rocket.
Oh man, I'm disappointed now.
Yeah, it doesn't have motion controls, so it couldn't be Red Rocket.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. They claim that it's inspired by the retro glory days of 8-bit games. Rex Rocket is a traditional 2D platformer. It's a 2D platformer. It was ported to Linux by Flibbit, so you know for a fact that whatever controller you have happens to work.
Wow, this is Mega Man on a budget with a little bit of Metroid thrown in.
But
what do these reviews say? It's like best Metroidvania of 2014. I'm sorry, Guacamole would like to have a word with you.
Yeah. But you can tell the game was ported by Flibbit because if you look at the system requirements, glibc 215 plus 32/64-bit S3TC support is not required. I don't know what kind of OS that is, but I want to try it.
FNA is just such a complete solution now that it doesn't require an operating system to actually run. So, Pedro, you mentioned that this was one of Flibbit's 60-minute challenges, or sorry, no, 1 week ports. Apparently, he's trying to get it down to the point where he can port an XNA game in 60 seconds. That would
just drop in,
drop it, literal drop and replace.
Yeah, that would be nice. There are a lot of Xbox Live Arcade games that I'd like to see on Linux.
What's this thing clock in at? 40% off. Normally that magic 999, but
999.
You know the controllers are going to work because it's SDL2 and all that business. So
you're supporting Flibbit if you buy this. So.
Right.
Yeah, but again, it is a platformer. Keep that in mind. I, for one, from the moment I read platform, I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Coming up next, freedom!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is usually that time when we get to some Linuxy news. But first, you boys and gals have humbled me. Each and every week, you kick us some shekels over at our Patreons. And this week, well, it's no exception. Mr. Michael, Anyone care to take a guess at that name? Gwenzel? Michael, I'm sorry I just
Michael
butchered your
G.
name, but thank you.
Michael G.
He joins
not
the
good
ranks of Glog, Patrick, Cody. Let's see, Jill, she's in there. The T-Hand,
Yep.
Chicago kicks ass. Steven,
And
Dan,
Stephen
Nathan,
McLaughlin. Yeah.
Truggleswick, Rosenwick, Matt Hartley, and Chris Fisher. So they're all... I know, right?
Yeah, that still gets
So
me.
we're getting 57.Z7 per Saturday Night Trainwreck. We got a couple of rewards. The next thing's coming up is going to be 75. If we get that milestone, we're going to start trying all the way from the beginning, sweetheart.
Trying again.
Yeah, and you know, there's an announcement this week that's going to throw a monkey wrench in that too.
That's going to make it even worse.
But first,
We'll get to that in a second. Yes, starting the news. It's not the usual drivers or anything, but it's engines. Engines going free.
In time.
It's the big U. The Unreal Engine 4 is now available for everyone for the price of
got a
free.
message from House Fleety.
Yep.
But I'm muted, so let's fuck that business. What is it?
let's make
This
our
is-
own dialogue. I'd like to put
This is
mustard in my
the
mouth
Unreal 4
and
engine.
shove dildos up my
Yes,
ass.
it is free. You can literally go to their website, make an account. You get access to the Git. You get access to the source code. Ven actually will tell you in just a second what his experience was with getting the the editor to compile under Linux. But yeah, down at the bottom of the release post, they say that in going free, we'll be issuing a prorated refund to current subscribers for their most recent month's payment. And everyone who has ever paid for a UE4 subscription will receive 30 wet stinky credits that can be spent in the Unreal Engine Marketplace. Can we please move on from Unity now? Pretty please.
That seems to be the intent. I mean, they're pretty. It really seems like Epic is trying to just come down and replace Unity as the de facto standard for any game development. Period.
They did.
This
I mean,
is-
we talked about
this is definitely
in the
gonna bring people
notes,
to their
man.
camp.
And the first thing I said, let's not start sucking each other's dick organs just yet, gentlemen, because it's really good for us. But this could cause some smaller companies like Unity, and I'm really thinking about Leadworks, to go bust because they can't really compete about that. Because at the time, this came out before the Unity announcement, which is coming up next. And here's one thing that I really want everyone to put around in your brain beats, because P-Man's going to tell you about there's one requirement for this engine that you have to follow. But what I don't see on this page is, say I'm a AAA publisher and all that, and I don't want to pay any of these royalty bits. Can I just buy the fucking engine? Why is that an issue, P-Man?
It is an issue because once your game or anything you have released with the Unreal Engine starts making more than $3,000 a quarter, that's, let's see, 3 months, about $1,000 a month, you have to start paying 5% in royalties, which is a good thing.
5% isn't really all that bad, all things considered. It's
Yeah,
certainly
and
something
in
that
my
AAA
opinion,
titles.
it's
can
actually
eat
a
up.
good thing. It'll probably make some indie devs consider not publishing their games, not putting them up on Steam like they're doing now with all those shitty Unity games that we keep getting.
No,
To
we're
me,
just
that's a
going to get
good
a
thing.
bunch of shitty Unreal games. That's really what's going to happen here.
Yeah, but I hope not. I hope this 5% will get people to maybe not publish it.
I don't know. I think we'll actually see the opposite, because I'm a AAA team, and I'm almost 100% positive that Epic's like, here, you can pay this much and get a license and not give us royalty, because it's not if you're making 3,000. What if you're making 10 mil per quarter on your game? You don't want to give people 5% of your 10 mil for something that you couldn't license, but I'm almost positive they're going to get that sorted. But you're asking, Van, how does it work? And the editor and all that. And I went through all that nightmare fuel. Got it up and running. Even, what's our friend over at NVIDIA that does the Linux drivers?
Aaron Plattner.
Plattner. He even commented on after. I was like, bah, finally got it. And he's like, yeah, it's a fucking nightmare even over here. Yeah, I got the account, pulled the get, got it, did the dependencies. got some extra shit because it wasn't quite up to date on the Ubuntu 14.04, and I'm like, out of all the fucking stable long-term maybe that you want to target that, Brad. It finally built. It's like, okay, let's build the editor. And I was like, no make files, fuck you, because that's why. I was like, what? That's a fucking issue. Reading. Turns out, in its current state right now, at least under Ubuntu, you have to do a sudo when you build it for it to generate the fucking make files. I was like, yeah, if there's anybody other than Epic, I wouldn't have done that, but I still wanted to try it. Did get it to build, the editor launched, and it's not spite crashy, it's laughably fucking crashy. It's completely fucking unusable at this point, but it did launch, and I was like, all right, progress. J-Man, what was that?
Yeah, my favorite entire thing about this whole scenario is about the second or third comment on the Reddit article. I've read this on. Someone threw a link to the Unreal wiki for how to convert your shit from Unity to Unreal, and I just started laughing uncontrollably.
Yeah, and the very first comment that I saw when I read the entire article was like, I have been wanting to get Unreal to replace Unity, and now I can. I hope this is free forever.
But this really does throw a monkey wrench in the whole development environment. Epic is really trying to create an ecosystem based around them so that it is the best choice to go with Unreal, and therefore they get all that 5%, and they can roll around and have their little gay Ben pool of money. And maybe Tim Sweeney and gay Ben will have hot tub parties that we're not going to be invited to.
Well, let's talk about a unifying thing.
Yes, then tell us about Unity.
The scrambling noises here are really adorable, though.
I had to look at this. Okay, Unity comes out. Big GDC special announcement, which I'm guessing Epic got a word of the day before it happened because they just delivered the most epic burn since PlayStation 4 told Xbox One how to share fucking games. Wow. Here's the thing. They still want you to give me a little quid, but you can get the personal edition. Now, when you first go to this page, let me see if I can give it a quick refresh. It's like, oh, that's not too bad. You
might want to expand the more features thing.
Yeah, but
because it makes it painfully clear.
Like, holy fuck all. What do you get? You get the engine with all features, royalty-free, all platforms. Limitations apply. When they mean all platforms, they mean you don't get iOS or Android. You got to throw them some extra money for that. But if you want to go, let's say we want to get our professional edition on.
Mm-hmm. How much is that going to cost?
$75 a month. We're going to do that. We're like, oh, okay, so it's not bad. $1,500 or $75 a month. But maybe we'll make some iOS. Do some bad. Okay. Yeah, it's like that. Sure.
Oh no, you know. Let's get some Windows Phone in there too. Why not?
There we go. That's what he's going to run you. $225.
Holy!
Versus cheap as free. Do the math.
Yeah. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, Unreal 4 can export Android and iOS for free.
J-Man, what are your thoughts?
Again, this is just Epic cock slapping everyone in the face, and Unity scrambling. It's like, wait, no, our paid product that we've been monetizing for the past 5 years. Oh no, it's irrelevant. Oh, here's some free stuff. Oh, but it's gimps. Like I said, the scrambling noises are adorable. It really does look like everything is going to start shifting over to Unreal Engine.
Yeah, but, I can just imagine our buddy Josh over at Leadworks. He said something along the lines of like, "Fuck it, I'm out." Boom.
He reads that press release and like a single tear falls from his eye. That's what happens.
And the real kicker for me is I was looking at the features and oh hey, there's a thing about game performance reporting because if you've been paying attention to our podcast, you know that Unity games tend to be shit.
Well, they absolutely give that to you in the free personal version, right?
Nope, they do not. You have to pay at least $75 a month or the $1,500 buyout license to get game performance reporting because, hey, you want to report your crappy FERPs on our horrible, unoptimized engine. Yeah, give us some money, bitch.
All right, let's talk about the Mantle.
Speaking of taking it to the chest, so AMD has come out and said, Mantle is dead. Long live Mantle. We are going to stop developing or well, they're not going to stop developing Mantle. They're going to have their own branch for their experimental stuff. But what's happening is Mantle is now forming the base for GL Next, aka Vulkan, which we'll get into in a little bit. But on first glance, and so this was released before the Vulkan announcement. So at first glance, this looks like our vendor lock-in stuff didn't really take off. So please use it and validate us. Oh my god! Yeah. But as we found out later that day, this was because now everyone is going to be using it as the de facto standard for the new version of OpenGL. Woo! Well, it does make sense. I mean, might as well transition on to the next story because they're sort of related. Isn't that right, Pedro?
Yep. This is the Vulkan, the new API that was supposed to be called GL Next, or that's what people referred to.
GL Next was the code name for it.
But
they
it
just
is
gave it a
called
really
Vulkan.
timely name. I'm pretty sure Leonard Nimoy's death had
Yes, one
nothing to do with their
Vulkan
choices.
dies and another must
Gabe
take its
killed.
place.
Okay.
But yeah, this is this comes from Ars Technica. As usual, you can find all the links to this stuff on our show notes.
The press release from Kronos itself is also in the show notes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You can also find that there. They basically go into some general detail as to how it was implemented, and what I got from it, it's basically Apple's Metal implemented the same way that AMD's Mantle was being done. So it's good. And I had one thing in the notes for the previous story, which I'll say it now. They chose the guys from Kronos, they chose AMD's Mantle implementation to do this because in order to get Metal's implementation, they'd have to pay Apple a shit ton of money, and that would only ensure that it would work with OpenGL 3.2. So I can see that
good old
they didn't want to do
XKCD
that.
927.
But yes, it is very much a competing standard.
Though to be fair, if your card supports OpenGL 3.1 or OpenGL 4.3, which is basically
GLES
which-
3.1 or
yes, OpenGL
4.1.
embedded 3.1. Sorry,
Yes.
which basically means if you have a video card bought any time in the past 5 years, like what I got my GTX 460 here. I bought this in like 2010, and this will support Vulkan. So yes, read upside down. Well, if you're in Australia, then it's right side up. But let's not get into that.
I think Vulkan's a very interesting technology, and EA's on board with basically everybody fucking else. Like, this is good,
Yeah.
because there's going to be hella
EA,
cross-platform,
Blizzard, and a bunch of
Right.
others.
and we're living in the moon futures, man. That's all there is to it.
One of the more interesting things is apparently Valve actually produced the Vulkan driver for the Intel cards. So we can sort of guess that's what they were sort of working on with the Glassy Mesa project. And I'll be interested to see if Valve is going to put out more open source drivers, because if everything just works out of the box on SteamOS without really needing to install third-party drivers, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah, and reducing driver overhead is something we kind of need, at least on the AMD side on Linux. Just saying.
Okay, well, let's talk about something brand new, a piece of intellectual property from just fucking with you. It's Trine 3. Stick with what you know, ladies and gentlemen, and one thing they know is, well, Trine. It's out, yes. We're making Trine 3, and have been for quite a long time, actually, because it's not that difficult.
It's the artifacts of power!
Be out this year. Let's take a look at this trailer. J-Man, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, Trine 1 and 2 were pretty good games. And, this is some extra incentive now if you want to get to that $75 Patreon goal. We're going to have to play through this one as well. Watch the end of LinuxGameCast as we cannibalize each other from the inside out, trying to get through this fucking game. All three of them now. Well, and maybe they can give some keys to facilitate that. But based on the trailer, it does look like they're going for a sort of Sonic Colors vibe, where you have 2D and 3D segments sort of broken up.
It's like
Now, the last batch of
2.90,
Sonic games
right.
haven't really done this particularly well. There have been a few that have, aka Sonic Colors. Apparently, once they fixed Sonic Boom, it wasn't terrible. There's always Sonic 2006. Let's
Yeah,
not talk about that.
I was looking at it, and if you played around with the Trine level editor, everything's in 3D. You just get the slot view of it. I mean, that's one of the aesthetic reasons. I mean, it's fuck all gorgeous, always has been.
Yep.
And just had its unique look because everything is 3D. You just get that side view. So, I mean, this is not necessarily a huge change other than, let's move the camera around a little bit, Brad. And I don't know how that's going to play out. I mean, I'm very interested in the concept. I would actually like more, what mode would that be behind?
3D over-the-shoulder platforming.
Yeah, type shit like that.
Yeah.
Which has been proven time and time again to be a huge pain in the ass, but if you mix that up and you do it right, and I got a lot of faith in Frozen Byte, and that rhymed unintentionally, fuck you all.
I kind of had some faith in them. I mean, trying the Enchanted Edition and trying 2, they work great in their Linux, but
neither
then
one
I
of
read
those
this...
came out the same day on the Linuxes, but they always make
Yeah, I know, but it's not 2013
given
or
Frozen Byte's
2012
track
anymore. It's
Given their track
2015.
record, I can give them benefit of the doubt.
But they literally just put it right there in the article and said, the Windows version will be the first one to be released. We'll reveal more about other platforms later. And at that point, my interest went right out the window. Come on.
They're going to support Linux. They did it for the past 3 freaking games they did. Why are they going to stop now?
Their past games, at least the Trine 2 was ported by Humble. The Enchanted Edition, I'm not sure.
Either way, let's move on.
Relics of
yes.
Anorath.
Anorath, yes. Our favorite MMO that none of us plays.
The one game made on Engine.
Yes, that
wasn't made
MMO,
by an engine
which will
themselves.
kill your CPU and your network connection. No, they released an update to their launcher. It's fairly small, actually. They added an RSS feed to the launcher for updates. They fixed a few bugs, and they finally got rid of that bitch Martha. Seriously, god damn, I hated that one.
I'm surprised that this is still in development, and I just say good on them. Keep it up. I mean, maybe mid to late 2037 we'll have a playable. I mean, they're doing good work, though. Really, they are.
They fixed their posts because it said, meanwhile, the old in-game graphics got polished, and Martha is replaced by a smoother one. I guess they fixed that to Castle.
And that's over at Anorath-game.com. Like everything else, you'll find that noise in our show notes on the published thing, but something about hovercrafts, Pedro.
Achtung!
Yes. So I got to, earlier in the week, I got to the notes, and I see this post saying, o meu hovercraft está cheio de enguias. And I'm like, then what the hell? It was actually a pretty good Google Translate, but yeah, this is a hovercraft. A hovercraft?
Hovercraft? Show title.
Hovercraft game.
I don't know. Do you cover or do you hover?
It's the H-Craft Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's made in the Ehrlich engine. You can find it in ergeist.com. Good luck sorting the spelling out of that one. The link is in the show notes as usual. But it works. I actually got to try it out. It works fine. The physics are a bit iffy.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, you're driving a hovercraft, so it's to be expected.
Full of eels,
I
though.
remember playing this billions of years ago in the future's past, and they were actually working on a second version of it. But yeah, the controls are completely mangled. But it adds to the frustration of it. They have been asked about possibly doing a multiplayer version of it, and they said, well, one of the developers said, we're going to do a, split screen. It'll maybe get you started on the ideas of how to do that. But yeah, this project is ancient. It still looks pretty, and good on them for opening up the source. This was
and I haven't really seen anything done in the Ehrlich engine since Octodad.
No.
My nipples explode with excitement.
Okay. Well, they're about to explode with chairs.
They are. Coming up next, we throw chairs at Torchlight, and all my time goes in the toilet. Too distracted playing this game to actually sit down and review it. We're reviewing Torchlight 2 from Runic Games, released many, many years ago. Finally released under Linux.
Only on the Steams.
What? Yes. You can pick it up for $19.99, but until Monday, it is $5 wet, stinky bucks. So you should probably pick it up if you do not already have it. And much like any mystical hoopajoop that we do every week, and much like all the mystical hoopajoop that happens in Torchlight, it must face the chairs. 1 chair means that it's crap. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. 4 chairs means shut up, take my money. It's amazing. We also have our categories: Doom, Mix with the Working, Shiny Sounds, Controls, and Fun. So let's kick off this review. Then, did Torchlight 2 make with the working?
Over here, Brother Svang. It made with the working on a Ubuntu 1404 LTS octo-core 980 4K displayed box of business. It ran without issue. But I do have some issues that I'm just going to bitch about. But they're not bugs, they're features, clearly. I really do not like being able to not run in a windowed mode. You can run Windows full screen. But you can't do it in a window. And at 4K, sometimes I want to play, 1080p in a window in a corner when I'm doing some other stuff. Not really an option. Custom resolutions. Fuck you, because that's why. But again, I can't ding them a chair because that's not a bug. It doesn't say it can do that, and it's unable to. So, mix with the working 4 chairs.
On the Fedora 21 powered 64-bit AMD 1090Ti NVIDIA 670 Superclock business box by my foot, ran without issue. Smooth as it possibly could be under Linux. I played this on Windows back when it came out, and it ran exactly the same, so good on them. 4 cheers.
Yep. On the Amiga with the AMD FX 8370E and the GTX 970 Strix, it actually ran stupidly well. It was an ogre game. Admittedly, I expected some issues, but we'll get to that.
I'll give you a true story. When I was reading the engine, I was like, Pedro, you got that wrong. There must be a typo. Who would use the ogre? Oh, God, he's right.
Yeah. But, yeah. On the Steam machine, well, the unofficial Steam machine with the AMD A60K at 4 gigahertz and GeForce GTX 750 Ti, it also ran stupidly well. Really, no complaints. It's running SteamOS on that one and Corora 2164-bit on this Amiga of a machine. So 4 cheers for me.
All right, so that's 4 cheers for Mike with the working. Shiny Sounds, go!
Boom! Ogre, the engine whose last stable update release was 2013. And you know what? I hate to say this, but it does show. Even with everything on 11, it looks dated. Not bad. Just dated. The soundtrack, sound effects, this is the team that created, what was it, Pedro? Diablo 1, Diablo 2?
Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, yep.
It completely shows. I mean, that is a pleasure to put inside of your ear pussies. I did enjoy that. And again, they're not bad. I mean, it's well done. The art's well done. Everything's well done. But you can clearly see, it's like, oh, like, if you look at something like, yeah, that's Unity. I looked at that, I was like, yeah, that's Ogre. So, they did a fantastic job considering the engine that they chose to work with. I'm going to give that 3 cheers for the shiny and the sounds, J-Man.
Yeah, you can't really fault the game for looking old considering the game is at least 3 years old now. So,
oh, there was one small thing I wanted to ding it a chair for because I was confused about all the characters having heads.
Oh, yes. Of course. Well, there's no need to lose your head about that, then. Anyways. Yeah. One thing I really noticed about this game is that if you leave the audio on for too long, it really does sound like Diablo 2, which makes sense because they have the guy who did their OST for Diablo on the Torchlight team. Yes, but I don't know. It kind of bugged me because I'm playing Torchlight. I'm not playing Diablo. I don't want to hear Diablo music. I want to hear a new take. But that's not really anything to ding any chairs about. The frame rate is a bit inconsistent. You'll get like 75 frames a second on the loading screens and like 40 frames a second on the menu and varying between 50 and 60 frames a second in actual gameplay. Again, didn't really bother me all that much. The game looks great for what it is. It sounds great for what it is. 3 cheers.
To reiterate what Jordan said, the frame rate is all over the place. I had the Steam overlay with the FERPs showing at the corner, and with everything turned up to 11 on the 970, in the main menu, it was locked at 56 FPS. Regardless of the settings, whatever I did, 56 FPS is as high as it'll go. On the character selection screen, it goes up to 221. Good times. And then you get in game, and it wavers somewhere around 40 to 70. It gets down to around 30 if there's like a shit ton of enemies on screen, but it's not unplayable by any stretch of the imagination. Disabling Bloom, I found, actually makes the game much more stable FERPs-wise. It keeps everything constant at around 70, 75-ish. So keep that in mind. Also, and again, like Ven and Jordan already mentioned, it is Mr. Matt Wellman on the original soundtrack for this game, and I am a big fan. I love his musical scores, and that alone is enough for me to forgive the frame rate inconsistencies and give it 4 cheers.
All right, so that's 3 cheers for our shiny sounds. Controls, Ven.
This gets interesting, Jaden. Oh, it does.
It begins.
Oh, so it begins. I've never had the pleasure of playing the Diablo series. This boiled down to I started the game, immediately put my hand organ on the keyboard organ, like WASD. I was like, what's going on here? Can't do that. All right. Escape. Let's see. What's going on? Control set. It's like, oh, shit. Oh, right. Oh, this is that game like Torchlight. Mouse Abuser 2015. That's what we have right
Click,
here.
click, 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 click,
I
click.
love the sound of my mouse clicking 50 times a second, said no fucking one, especially me. Click, 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 click. Press I, inventory, possibly space, maybe move over here, set with your pet organ, play something like click, 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 click. It's abuse on your gerbil. Why can't I? You got an enemy going on. Okay, right click on you. Go take care of it. Do the thing. I thought that was something we had fixed billions of years ago in the future's past. But no, you do that, runs up. Now click more. Fine. Okay. What I'm saying about the controls, they work for what they are. They work perfectly for something like after listening to P-Man and J-Man. It's like, this is how it's supposed to fucking work, all right? It's like, okay, then I guess they work. But what I don't like is controls that actually cause me to think about the amount of damage I'm doing to my fucking gerbil. And the same reason, when I built Turbo Jetta, I put it on a dyno once. Because I don't like abusing things and causing it. And it's not like I have a super cheap gerbil. These things are running us like 60 or 70 quid. This is the YOLO EP and Extender 9000 Curbotron. So
it's the Kerbo Talk Smasher.
I'm going to give it 2, not because the controls are busted. It's just, I don't like that. This seems like it would be perfectly fucking playable with a controller organ or WAS keys, which really, there's no way to do that. I tried. All right, J-Man.
I don't know. Going back to your whole thing about the control, using a controller for this, the only game kind of like this out there on Linux is Forced. And the controls on that weren't the best. Apparently, Diablo 3 on the PlayStation... apparently, Diablo 3 on the PlayStation figured out ARPG controls for like a DualShock controller. So I haven't played that. I'm interested to see what they might have done. But for me, it's always I was a big fan of Diablo 1, big fan of Diablo 2, Diablo 3. But I played all those games. And I mean this takes the standard ARPG fare, and it's very solid. You click on the things so you can click on more things, and sometimes you press keyboard buttons to click on other things. 4 chairs.
Yeah, this really put the Rocat Kova to the test, and so far it has withstood it for the 6 hours or so.
Looking at the hours you two have logged in this game, both of you will be buying new gerbils in the next month.
Maybe. Hopefully not. But so far, it hasn't complained, and everything still works. But Torchlight 2 has the exact same problem that the first Torchlight had. At least on Linux, I honestly can't remember on Windows. If the screen fills up with too many enemies, you can't reliably click to move away from the mob, and that'll actually get you killed every now and again.
No, that just means you suck at Torchlight. That just means you suck at Torchlight, by the way.
No, I'll actually back him up. When I was playing the game at 4K resolution, that what is it, the arrow thingy, it gets lost quick.
Yeah, it gets lost in the confusion, but that aside, you click on things and things react appropriately, and actually listening to the mouse clicking repeatedly sort of gave me nostalgia back for when I used to play Diablo and Diablo 2 long ago. So for me, it gets 3 chairs because, again, you can't reliably move away and you'll end up dying.
All right, well, despite the fact that some people may be better or worse at Torchlight, 3 cheers for controls! Finally, we have our subjective category. Fun! Ben, did you have fun?
Did I have fun? Okay, here's the thing. Installed this. Okay, I'm going to try this. I remember Torchlight. Not exactly my cup of chainsaw. 40 minutes later, I realized, wow, okay, time to take a break. That's hella rare. And for something like this, I've never really experienced a game like this outside of Torchlight 1, which I found kind of odd with the missing heads. I really like the game, but I really hate the controls. I'm just going to be perfectly honest about that. I kind of wish they were done a different way. I don't have the nostalgia that you lot have. Chat Realms pointed out that, Diablo 1 came out in 96. I was on Linux full-time in 95, and Wine was kind of like, we can run Notepad during those days. So, one thing I've kind of gotten a little more irritated about, because I even noticed during that initial 40 minutes of, time vampirism, it went from hack and slash kill to inventory simulator 2015. I was like, and it got me. I'm not saying that as a con. Because it's like, oh, well, if I put this gem in this, and I swap this out with not playing the game. It doesn't pause when you're doing that. You can absolutely get killed to death when you're like, well, maybe I'll move this. Oh, look. And you run around and do all that. You might want to play the game on hard, because normal seemed like it was meant for people who have glue sticks in their mouth and don't really want to pull them out and do any of that. Even I'm saying, because I started playing on normal, and after a few quests, I stockpiled so much health and mana. I was just running at everything, screaming yellow swag Dorito. I don't care. 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep on hitting me. I don't care. I got 50. Bring it. Click, 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 click. And that's just made even easier because the baddies effectively just shite items everywhere. It's like, you spend more time. Me and J-Man, you can find a players of this, and you'll see the footage of us playing this during the review and the finished review outside of the live show. It's everywhere. It's like you kill one mini overlord type business, and it's like, oh man, all right. Then Jordan's like, hey, let's go over the entire fucking level and pick up anything we missed. I was like, God damn it. Multiplayer works as expected, except if you don't have an account, Brad, you got to create an account. And that kind of like, ugh. I'm already in Steam. Now I got to go fucking WebZone and create this one-time account.
DRM.
But it is cross-platform multiplayer, and it worked as expected. We had a pretty easy time after I set up my account and did all that business. So at the end of the day, take that shot and check out these 3 chairs I have for Brad, J-Man.
Oh, I'm a hardcore Torchlight fan. Boy, I'll fully cop to that. It really does take the best parts of the Diablo series and refines them into something very, very solid that I have a great time playing. This thing is like hardcore time vampire. In between recording segments, I'm playing Torchlight.
Yep.
The only other game they saw me doing that with is FTL, which is another time vampire.
Which went on for a year.
Yes. But yeah, this game's fun. It also has a good sense of humor about it. what do you call it? I had to find a bottle of lotion, put it in a basket, and I got Buffalo Bill's mask made out of human faces. It's fantastic.
Carl.
Cross-platform multiplayer works. I was playing that with my roommate on his Windows install earlier today. So, I mean, altogether, it's a solid port. The game is fun as shit.
Can I interject for just one thing before you
What's
say that? You played this when you were still a filthy dual-booting heathen.
I did.
How did that Windows save transfer?
It didn't. Oh, yes, it did not. And that made me very, very sad. Because I had my high-level engineer that I had worked so hard on that disappeared. So I scrapped that and created an Outlander. What did you guys play?
I played as a berserker.
Would you like to make me fuck?
Yeah,
right,
it's good. It is a very, very, very good game. It's a freaking time vampire. It's like, oh, let's play just a quest, just the one. Oh, I'm almost at level up. Let's just level up. Oh, I started a new quest. I'll just finish this. Oh, I got 2 items of this set. Let's see if I can find the 3rd one. Oh, yeah, I got it, but I'm almost at level up again. It's very hard to put it down. It's exactly what Diablo 3 should have been hadn't Blizzard fired most of these people. So, yeah, like Ben already mentioned earlier in the review, this is made by 90% of the team that made the first and second Diablo games. It is good. They have refined the genre. Basically, Diablo defined this genre, and they have refined it, and for me, Torchlight 2 comes very, very close to being the perfect hack and slash RPG type thing. 4 chairs for me.
All right, that's 3 chairs for fun, and if we tally all this crap up, we get 3 chairs for Torchlight 2.
Very solid 3 chairs.
Yes. It's on sale now for $4.99, so pick that shit up
That's
right
what
now.
I'm saying. If you're going to say a final thought about this, considering this thing goes on sale more often than your mum,
yeah,
that's what J-Man said. Give it a buy.
You will at least dump like 2 or 3 hours in this game. It's really easy to do.
Unless you really hate hack and slash or action RPGs type games, you're gonna love this. It is very, very good. And it's freaking cheap. I mean, $4. Just get it now.
Yes. So, coming up next, LinuxGameCast teaches you how to program.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is that time of the week where we get to read the poop you send our way. Because if there's one thing we enjoy, is some pretty, really good, some hot, stinking hate mail.
I thought you were going to say poop.
As usual. As a quick reminder, go on over to linuxgamecast.com, push the contact button on the nav bar, fill out the form, fill out the CAPTCHA thing, and we will feature your message, unless, of course, you're trying to promote your game, be it through crowdfunding or a game that is already out. Because if you are, we're going to need some Steam keys, some manner of prototype, alpha, beta. At the very least, 3 Steam keys. If it's a game that's already out, it's already on Steam, early access, whatever.
Or a copy. We need to see that it's running.
Yeah, we need to play your game in order to talk about it. Because if we can't play your game, I'm sorry, we're not going to do it.
No.
And apparently,
Speaking of people who can't read, Dave Kerr.
Don't be a bitch, man. Am I right?
More like a patch man. Now he writes, then he says, "Dear Linux Gamecast, we have a Linux video game in the works. It's even developed within all caps Linux exclamation point. Not just deployed too. We made sure all of our tools could run Linux before we use them. We have a trailer that teases videos. The video devlogs, don't be a patchman, all caps again. This fucker has a Billy Mays button. Help patchman, rescue the sheeple enslavement crowdfunding greenlight. We aim to provide 10% of our funds to open source. You can't fucking read, can you, Brad? Seriously, you want me to plug your damn Kickstarter? Well, we have all caps.
A link to the video.
Here's the thing. Sent from our contact page, up there. Attention crowdfunding campaigns. Attention developers. You want us to give us money and think you're going to be fiscally fucking responsible with it when you can't show basic reading comprehension. No plug for you. So, moving on next.
Vroom, vroom,
Vroom,
zoom,
vroom.
zoom. This is from Minty Sauce. He says, often I hear you guys mention my first Unity game, but in actuality, where is a good place for someone who has zero experience with game developments? Did you ever rate game engine tools, etc.? I know Steam has an engine called Leadworks on sale. Would be better looking at this or jumping right into U4. Well, Unity exists on the C# continuum. So while the engine itself is cross-platform, you're basically using a language that only currently really works on Microsoft operating systems. A couple of good places to start learning are Pygame and Mozilla Gladius, which are frameworks specifically for creating games for people who have not created games before.
Mm-hmm.
And they run on Python and JavaScript respectively, so they'll run on basically anything. And of course, as you mentioned, there's Unreal 4, because, Unreal 4, it's free. Why the fuck wouldn't you use it?
If I'm going to throw something at
Add a
that,
C++.
if you want to get started, it's completely free. It mixed with the open source is the Godot engine. I mean,
Godot.
Yeah.
Godot. Michael Godot. And it's stupidly simple to pick up. I mean, it has most of the functionality that you might be able to transfer the knowledge that you learn from this at the cost free, but then again, you might be able to do that with the freemium
Unreal
version of Unity or the completely free and or open source version of UE4, but that might be a bit overwhelming. But yeah, Jayden, I had some good ideas for you, man. You got some thoughts?
No, I was actually, when I first saw this in the notes, Jordan had already put Pygame in there. But yeah, my recommendation would be Pygame. They have tons of documentation. There's entire threads and forums about Pygame and people asking for help and getting started and making games. So that would be my personal recommendation. Of course, if you really want to just dive in and start making an awesome looking game, yeah, Unreal 4 is free now.
Yeah, but you probably have fuck all idea what you're doing, and you sure as fuck will be doing it with the edit on Linux right now.
Freedom! All right, well, on that bombshell.
Let's cue the music, because you can always find us around 9:30 Eastern Standard Moon Time, streaming live. Get in here with Chat Realm Dynamic, screaming our directions. We'd love that. We'll scream back in yours. Any other time, get in Chat Realm Static, the other 6 days of the week organ, where we have our forums. We're always in there doing the business. I'm Vinstone, cleverly disguised, on the Twitter nuts, at Vinstone, plus V's, at V, blah. Plus Vinstone. Yes, for Viagra, and I'll probably need that sooner than later. Plus Vinstone on the G pluses.
I'm Jordan Spung. You can find me at The Burning Pool on Twitter, or plus J on Google+. For
Plus
Jackass.
J and I, the Portuguese Plage Marizo M. Pedro Matos. You can find me at Unaccounted For on Twitter, or plus P on Google+.
And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, your hovercraft is always full of eels.
Please fondle my buttocks.
Eu não faço ideia o que é capaz de passar aqui, mas pode ser.
Moonspeak! Burn him!
Damn gibberish!
I don't speak Canadian.
I was hoping Jordan would say my hovercraft's full of eels in Yiddish.
Which I don't speak.
He doesn't even know the language of his own people. It's sad.
I know, right?
Not really.